welcome to yet another episode of the Novice podcast, where we break down complex financial terms in a simpler form just for you. Well, today's episode is it literally hits home. Why do we pay so much money for smaller houses in Nigeria? You might be wondering why you give out millions of nairas for a flat in places like Lagos, Abuja, yet these houses feel like a box. No space, no ventilation, no basic amenities. Well, I'm not alone in the studio today. I'm with Mr. Reggie. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
I'm not smiling today. Why do Nigerians, pay so much for houses and yet, it's so small and uncomfortable with so much unnecessary drama going on? Is it like a global trend or something that is within the real estate segment that we are not aware of?
Okay, thank you, Tolu, for having me in the show. I really appreciate. And okay, back to your question. I don't think the word you use, global trend, I don't think it's a global trend per se. However, I think I'll use the word market evaluation or market analysis in terms of real estate or real estate industry as a whole. And if you come in the course of introduction, you made mention of Lagos and Abuja, which is the real, situation we all face. And these two states you mentioned are basically in quotes, the big cities in Nigeria. Yeah, I'm sure. I was expecting to include Port Harcourt as well.
I wanted to.
Yeah, so these are big
guys.
cities basically that everybody wants to migrate to.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in diaspora, if you're a foreigner wishing or planning to move into Nigeria or to visit Nigeria, the first place you're thinking about is Lagos or Abuja. If I want to go to South Africa today, first place I'm thinking of is Johannesburg or Pretoria, right? Or Cape Town. Those are the three major cities.
Yeah.
Same applies to other countries as well.
Okay.
Same applies to other countries. So when it comes to Nigeria as well, you have the three big cities, Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt. And because of the influx of people, both locally and internationally, diasporans and foreigners, it creates this demand for houses and all of those stuff. Economy talk about demand and supply, all of those. So it creates this. There's a high level of demand of houses in these three cities, more than every other region or state in Nigeria, and that is one of the reasons for inflation.
Yeah, I was coming to that. Is it our currency? Is it inflation that derives these outrageous prices? Is it the greed for agents and landlords, or is it that is wrong for Nigerians to want to have a roof over their head? Because it's really provoking.
Okay, you asked if it's our currency or we are currently in a situation of currency, increase inflation, all of those stuff. But I don't think that has anything to do with the housing thing, because before now, it has been the case. So the house increment, all of those start today. It's not because of the current administration. It's something that's been there for a while now. Yeah. So, but let me go back to what I said initially. I think it's because of the cities. It's because of the high-brow areas. Let me come to Lagos, where I currently stay.
Okay.
In Lagos, we have two environments. We have what we call the mainland,
and the island.
I'll have what we call the island. And there will never be a day where the price of houses will be it's just not going to happen, because
at this point I think they are matching.
No matter how the mainland try to push it,
okay,
it's still not going to match, because one side is highbrow, one side is in quotes island. So if you put it in a global
the big boys
absolutely in other countries, whenever you talk about the Ibiza island, all of those, so whenever I hear island, there is this extra, see, human beings naturally are influenced by what they see, what they hear, and all of those stuff. Factors, there's some factors that influence choices and decisions. And hearing island alone, there's this mentality, this mindset that, oh, it's for the big boys.
Like I said, the big boys.
For the big boys. So everyone wants to chill with the big boys. Everyone I want to belong. So the only way I can belong is until I move to the island. So there's this demand, this influence, this, this rush to move to the island. Because of that, it creates scarcity.
That's when the demand and the supply
exactly comes in. So because people are moving in every week, hear agents. Do you know the number of agents on the island? And guess what? Each of those agents are renting out houses every blessed day.
But let's be realistic.
Mm-hmm.
There are places on the island. In fact, the stereotype we talked about, the island, the big boys.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise, when it comes to the island, there are certain stereotypes. You have smaller houses. You have the water is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yet people are moving to these houses. Yet the prices of these houses, all of these factors do not, reduce the cost of the houses.
Okay.
Why?
Yeah. If you say water, for example, I think because it's called island, is on the water area.
Okay.
And if let's use Lekki as a case study. Lekki is water area. I remember years back, the 1990s, 2000s, when if you come here, what you see is swamp. And people fill it up and build houses in it. Now, I want to get water from the same swampy area. What do you expect to get? Dirty water. So it's not a factor that is okay. That has something to do with the landlords or anything. It's even let's assume, okay, Tolu, you're my host. Yeah. So let's assume you want to build a house and you get a land in Lekki.
Okay.
Is there going to be a different approach to building what other people built?
Yes.
So what happens is I'm talking about your own house now. When you get an expert to dig a borehole for you, what will you get from it? Dirty water as well. So it has not to do with landlords or no landlords. It's just the fact that this is where we find ourselves on the island, and if that be the case, we just have to find a way to navigate it.
So that leads me to a question. Yeah, I was going through the internet and then I saw a video of someone showing an apartment and it went for like $3 point something.
Okay.
And I'm like, why are they renting out houses and selling properties in Nigeria in dollars? Don't we currently earn naira? Aren't we using naira in Nigeria? So why are they selling houses in dollars?
Well, that will prompt me to ask you, which area is this specifically?
Of course, the island.
No,
the big boys.
No, you have to be specific. Because, if you come to the island, there are two locations that I know personally. Because this is my industry. Okay. So there are two locations I know that deals in dollars. You talk about Ikoyi and you talk about Iko Atlantic. So what separates these guys from the other part of Nigeria? You talk about market audience. Everybody into business set out into business for
target audience.
Absolutely. Before you set out, you're asking yourself, who are my target audience?
Okay.
So if anybody in Ikoyi, any landlord in Ikoyi, is not thinking about local markets, he's thinking about international markets.
Okay.
He's thinking about, okay, who are my target audience, for example?
The foreigners.
Foreigners. The big boys in quotes. Iko Atlantic guys came in and they came in, they did whatever they did, feed up the bar beach and all of those stuff, and they are building skyscraper, they are building quality stuff there. And from day one, they never had, I'm sorry, I'm going to sound a little bit funny, but they never had, their mind is not the common Nigeria guy. The common Nigeria guy, there's enough place for common Nigeria to live.
Like Ikorodu, right?
Okay, so you just mentioned an area where if you say Ikorodu, even in Ikorodu, there are still places that are some guys that are also high, right? So it's just a case of having a market audience, having a target audience. So Ikoyi is building for not just Nigerians, they are building for foreigners. Iko Atlantic is building for foreigners. If you think, if you have issue with that, why don't you create your own building and have a market. Who are your audience? Who am I planning to rent my house to? Haven't you heard places when in cases where you want to go rent a house and the landlord is asking you, what do you do for a living?
Yes, especially when it comes to women renting houses. They are
No,
stereotypes.
it's not just women. It's not just women. They want to know who are my target audience. They say, okay, are you so this thing? Are you this? Are you this? Are you this? So they want to know if I'm going to give my house to this person because because he appeals to my. Do you understand? So the woman down the street have a target market audience. Know that women are coming to, they are going to cook. They will come to patronize her.
So what exactly? For the common Nigerian, what exactly can our value, our money, naira, what kind of houses can the common man afford? And why are they still expensive and why are they still small? Because, when I followed someone to look for houses and all of that, because the agents too, we have a lot of fees that we pay for. We have commission, you have agents, you have tenancy, so much fees that we don't even know. We get lost in the fees, total package
I can relate.
and main fee. Sometimes you hear them say you have to pay 1.5 years before you can move into the house. Why are all of this a factor? Why can't we just want a particular house that we can afford and then it's as easy as that? What are all the fees for? And do we in return get back some of these fees that are being paid for?
Okay, so let's deal with this particular you just mentioned, the fees people pay when renting houses, and so you have something, we have what to call, you have the breakdown, you have the rent, then you have the agency, you have the legal.
Agency and commission.
No, you have the legal, you have the caution. Then in some cases you have what's called the service charge.
Yeah.
So the rent is an agreed fee by the landlord, fixed price. Has not to nobody influences. The landlord chooses to rent out his house for a certain amount of money, certain amount of fee, right? The legal aspect is so before this agency, before agents, I mean, we have random agents now, before they actually move into actual, like you say, became this popular, the landlords were going through what we call brokers, real estate brokers. I don't know if I'm allowed to mention name, like, Jide Taiwan Co. So those guys have what's called legal teams. So the landlord doesn't deal with tenants directly. They are dealing with the brokers. Brokers deal with their legal team. Legal team deal with the tenant. So if who starts your paper is a legal team. If there's any issue, go talk to the legal team. So because of that the legal team is paid. That's where you could hear the word legal fee.
Okay.
So the legal fee is meant to be for the legal team that is going to stand for the landlord. So you're absolutely intermediary. So that is one. Then you have what's called the caution. The caution is just like, before now, I'm not sure there was something like caution, but because tenants will move into a house, they damage property, they will damage they will leave the house in a mess state than it was when they moved in. So that landlords, I'm sure they thought about what can we do to safeguard the situation. So they now attach what we call caution fee. And the caution fee, if you're signing a document, it's stated that if you're leaving, the house will be examined, right, to see if anything got spoiled or not. If it's still in the right state, your caution fee will be reimbursed to you.
In this country, how many people?
The thing is not really how many people. The thing is how many people are requesting for it. So, let's assume I want to pack out. I say, landlord, I'm moving out next month. My rent will expire next month. I'm not renewing. I want to leave. Landlord's okay. By that next month, you say, landlord, please, I'm inviting you to your the landlord's legal or whoever the intermediary, right? Come and check, and inspect the house.
Okay.
The person comes and inspect the house. Is there any damage? Is there anything that wasn't here that have been damaged? After the whole inspection, the person says, okay, nothing is in the right state as it was. It's okay, please. That said, the agreement was I will be reimbursed my caution fee. Can you kindly reimburse my caution fee? The landlord, both legally and otherwise, is mandated, obligated to reimburse that money.
Okay.
Then the third fee you made mention is agency fee. Agency fee is simply the fee you pay to the guy who was busy hunting for house for you. Let's assume, okay, you're a worker. You don't have the leisure to go, start driving around like looking for house and calling people. So the agents do all of those stuff, and after doing that, they get the house. They say, we've gotten house for you. They get help you, interface with the landlord. All of those. After the payment, you say, okay, my own money is 10% of the rent you're paying for hunting for house for you. The agent, most time, let's this is an opportunity. I've heard on multiple occasions, on different times, people blaming agents or castigating agents and saying stuff about agents and all those stuff. Yes, of course, I know some people who are not educated, who just hungry people. It's not just in the agents; it's in every industry. Somebody one novice just come up with one thing and just trying to do it. He didn't study, he didn't work your way around it. Just come up because he saw somebody doing it. He just started to do it. Yeah, no plan, no template.
Structure.
Yeah, but on a real sense, normally, in a real sense, is the agent guys doesn't have any influence whatsoever in terms of the renter or whatever. Agent guy is just a guy who was notified.
Source for houses.
That is his field. Pay me the 10% of what the rent is. Most times, I think brokers have more influence in terms of rent than agents. Yeah, so let's assume the agent guy sees one banner by one broker, broking a company, and you call the number. I say, okay, what do you have here? The person I have, so 2-bedroom apartment is going for 5 million per annum, right? The agent picks up phone and call his client who requested for house through him. The client's okay, yeah, I like the house, so I'm going to make payments. Guess what? The agency fee, for example, is going to be split by the broker and the agent 55% each. The broker is not the owner of the property. So the broker is going to take the legal fee. He's going to take half of the agency fee. Do you understand? And he's going to hold on to the caution fee.
Wow.
So landlord takes his rent. Do you understand? But there is this clamor, especially on social media. I've seen it. Like I said, I've seen it different times. You have people like, all these agents people, they are evil people. All these agents people, they are okay. So if you say they are part of the question, will be, so how are they part of it? They don't influence any pricing, or they don't influence anything. I would rather blame the brokers. But there's a new trend in Lekki now. There's a new trend where somebody individual go rent, let's say, a duplex, and decide to rent it out each room because it's called a shared apartment. So in cases like this, now it's not under the hand, it's not controlled by brokers also. It's controlled by maybe interface of the landlord. So when you now come, even in this kind of case, you see the sitting room is divided and created as a room for people. So it's actually a way of making extra money. So it's a business. People are going to it as a business. So in cases like this, I know agents deal more with people like that because they tend to collect their full money. But where I'm driving at is agents don't have control over rent and all those inflation thing. No.
But with all of this, it brings me to the question: can we actually afford our dream homes? Because left for me, when I was growing up, I always dreamt to own a stable home, like my house will have a swimming pool, a garage, a lot of things, from the cartoons and all of that.
Yeah.
But can we actually afford our dream houses? And if we can, are they structures put in place? Are they corporations? Are they savings accounts? Are they government, policies that can help us at least reaching our dream homes?
Well, I think in somehow or some way, Nigeria, we are trying to measure our lifestyle and our way of doing things with the international bodies. For example, the UK, the American, all of those stuff. For example, in places like UK, Britain, you have the mortgage running at 75% to 70 to 75%. UK, US the same. But in Nigeria, I think it's about 5% or thereabouts. People don't really take advantage of this. But there are cases where you go through mortgage. There are cases where you go through, loans and all of those stuff. Do you understand? That's called housing scheme loan, made available by the government. I think the major challenge we have in Nigeria is ignorance, and I'm sorry to say it.
It's fine.
Yeah, is ignorance. Most times, we don't ask questions in Nigeria. and Nigeria, so we flow with the trend. We just flow. We don't ask why is things like this. We don't try to know. It's only in Nigeria that I notice that people run away from knowledge, self-actualized knowledge. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why, if imagine me walking down the street, I see people running. I just join them running. Like, bro, why you guys? What's going on? Why are you people running? But Nigeria will just join and run.
It's a natural instinct.
Well, it's not. So sometimes you need to ask. See, the number one way to know to knowledge is asking. The only way you know is by asking. If you don't ask, you will never. Even our government system.
So there are government policies.
There are different policies set in place for these things.
And also to caution and
See. Do you know? There are laws that govern.
Caution the landlords as well, and the tenants.
These things are there, but who is willing or ready to go start digging into this? And we like shortcuts in Nigeria. We like everything sharp. Oh, good. Nigeria's cases. I mean, Nigeria is the headquarters of as a fast means. We just want it. I don't want to. Oh, landlord, how much is the rent? Is 20 million. 20 million. I don't get them. I'll leave. Landlord, why is it 20? Why don't you ask landlord, why is it 20 million?
How can I pay?
Do you get? So landlord, how much is the rent? It's 5 million. I'll pay. What I'm saying in essence is we don't ask questions. We don't ask to know. We just accept things. We just accept what is. We don't question the status quo. We just accept. If we do, a lot of you see this house issue, you see this real estate industry. As a matter of fact, Nigeria is actually one of the most expensive place in terms of to live in terms of real estate industry. Currently I have a house. There's a house in Ikoyi that's going for $100,000 for rent per annum. If you think about that money, how much we're talking about? We're talking about almost 170 million naira per annum for 3-bedroom apartments in Ikoyi.
A flat.
A flat. Do you know that same amount of money? Okay, I before now, off camera, I showed you a property, that 3-bedroom that is going for $2 million. Do you know what you can buy with $2 million in the United States? Any part of US. Not just that, they will give you will get automatic citizen. I'm serious.
I agree.
Why do I need to pay $2 million for a 3-bedroom apartment? Whereas even the US celebrities are boasting that they bought their house. I'm talking about celebrities bought their house for $1 million or $1.5 million, the case may be. And I'm buying 3-bed apartment in Nigeria for $2 million.
Why?
Do you get? So the thing is there is no question. There is no question. Nobody's asking questions. People just accept what is. As long as you accept what is will remain.
So before we go, I have a quick game for you, whereby our audience, send us questions that you can help answer. So you just speak from it and then answer with the right words, because this is the Novice podcast where we break down all of these things in a simpler form.
Okay.
So you pick and then I'll read for you.
Okay, I pick this.
Okay. Why don't developers just build more affordable houses instead of fancy estates for the rich?
Well, let me go back to what I said at the early time. I said something that anybody venturing into business is venturing into business for profit. There is a reality that we all must accept. And that reality is everybody, we're never going to be on the same level in terms of finance. It is impossible. Even the person you're richer than, the person that's richer than you, somebody is richer than that person. Even the person richer than that person. So it's still going to be, it's life. So developer is developing. Most time, question will be, who is a developer? Somebody who is an investor, in quote. He goes to the bank, for example. If he's starting out, he goes to the bank, gets loans, right? And buy her. Most times, so there are two options. Either do what's called joint venture, in the sense that you go look for somebody who has the land and say, you know what, I want to build 10-story building here, and you take 5% of the house, I will take 5% of the house, 50-50. Divided, you get. So most time these guys go get money from the bank or get loan from the bank, and they want to recoup their money and make profit out of it. They are not building thinking Tolu will come and buy this house.
Why are you using me?
They are not building thinking this person is going to buy this house. They are building because they know somebody will surely come and buy the house. So the question is this: you have to walk around yourself and ask yourself, can I afford this? But I mean, one of the challenges also I have is the challenge of the spaces. The new trend now is if somebody will build one small kiosk, and you're selling it to people, all of those stuff, compared to years back when people build, elaborate houses and all of those stuff. But that is the biggest challenge today. So the question now be, why aren't developers building standard house 100 by 100, 50 by 100, things like that? Why they building, one boys quarter as a room? I actually saw one house recently somewhere here in Lekki, and with the owner was just taking me on a tour of the house. I was asking myself, I said, sir, where is the room? He said, this is the guest room. I said, sir, as in the guest room, this one. Okay, sir, let's go up, sir. We went up, and I said, sir, where is the master's bed? He said, this is master's bed.
There's no difference.
I was like, you're selling this is a 4-bedroom terrace. You're selling it for how much? You're selling it for 300 million. This, do you understand? But the truth is, whether I like it or not, somebody will buy it.
Yeah.
Do you get? So but I think it's high time Nigerians start asking questions. And not just ask, let's start demanding for answers.
So we've come to the end of today's podcast. I hope you learned a lot from developers, realtors, agents, and the like. Like we said, ask the right questions and know the reason for why you are paying so much for that apartment. Till then, see you on another episode. Bye, guys.